Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you pray, how much effort you put in, or how sincere your intentions are, a relationship just won't move forward? You meet someone and think, this is it. This is the one. Everything feels perfect, until suddenly it all falls apart. No clear reason, no closure, just confusion. But what if that heartbreak wasn't a failure, but a form of protection? Because Allah sees what we can't. He knows what lies ahead, what will lift us up or break us down. And sometimes, when He holds us back, it's not to hurt us, but to protect us, to preserve us, to prepare us for something far greater. So stay with me till the end of this video, because I'm going to walk you through some powerful signs that show Allah might be preparing you for your true husband or wife. And we'll uncover why this season of waiting might actually be one of the biggest blessings in your life. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If this video already feels like it's speaking to you, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps us share more content like this. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future videos that explore the beauty of the Islamic faith. 1. Marriage in Islam, a divine blessing. Imagine a garden, lush, peaceful, and perfectly arranged. Every flower blooms at just the right time. Every tree bears fruit in its season. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. That's how Allah writes our destinies. Every relationship, every love story, every union, it's all already written in His book, long before our hearts even learned how to love. Marriage in Islam isn't just about feelings or social expectations. It's something sacred, a divine connection crafted with heavenly wisdom, not just emotion. But let's be honest, we get impatient. We meet someone and think, this is it. We dream, we plan, we fall. And when it doesn't work out, we're left asking, why? Why would Allah separate two people who seemed so perfect for each other? Why are some of us still waiting, while others seem to find love so easily? Here's the truth. Allah sees what we can't. The Quran tells us, pure men are for pure women, and pure women are for pure men. This isn't just a verse, it's a promise. It means that the person who is truly right for you is aligned with your heart, your soul, and your spiritual journey. So maybe that closed door wasn't rejection, it was protection. Maybe Allah is guarding your heart from pain that your eyes can't yet see. Because what feels like love now might actually lead to sorrow later. We often think we know what's best for us, but our vision is limited, while Allah's wisdom is infinite. So when your relationship is delayed, it's not always a punishment. It's not that you're being ignored. It could be a test, a chance to grow, a time to prepare. Because marriage is a divine blessing, and Allah doesn't place His blessings in the wrong hands or at the wrong time. But that brings us to a big question. How can you tell if your waiting season is actually a time of preparation and not a rejection? What are the signs that Allah is writing a better love story for you, one that's worth the wait? If you've ever asked these questions, you're in the right place. Stick with me, because what we're about to explore could completely shift how you see your journey and your future. 2. Allah protects you from what you do, not see sometimes. We think we see clearly. We think we have found the person who corresponds to our prayers, our hopes. Our hearts cling, our minds dream, yet everything falls apart. Where we see loss, heartbreak, and injustice, Allah sees deliverance. Have you ever wondered why some doors close despite all your prayers? Why When everything seemed perfect, did fate decide otherwise? This is where divine wisdom begins. Perhaps you dislike something, while it is good for you. We are blinded by our desires. What we call love, what we believe to be a good choice, is often just an illusion, fueled by our own insecurities, our need for affection, and our earthly expectations. A relationship can seem perfect on the surface, but silently lead us away from our faith. A marriage may seem like a blessing, but it can contain suffering that only Allah perceives. Imagine a person crossing the desert, thirsty. Before her, a shimmering oasis. In her haste, she runs, believing she will find the water that will save her. But in reality, it is only a mirage. How many of us have run toward a mirage, thinking we have found true love, when Allah, in His mercy, took us away from it before we drowned in it? What if what you call a rejection was actually a mercy? Allah does not deprive you, He protects you. He protects your heart from a love that would have consumed it, protects your soul from a relationship that would have distracted it from His light, and protects your future from a union that would have shattered your serenity. We often forget that what glitters is not always gold. A person may seem perfect to us, but hide a darkness that we don't see. A love can appear sincere, but be poisoned by the illusion of attachment, by unhealed wounds, by still invisible trials. So Allah closes certain doors, not to punish us, but to save us. But how many of us understand this when the pain of separation hits us? What if we learned to trust Allah's plan, even when we don't understand it? Where you see an absence, He writes a purer presence. Where you see an obstacle, He makes a safer path. Where you feel emptiness, He prepares an abundance that you cannot even imagine. What if what you thought was a loss was in reality the beginning of the most beautiful story you haven't read yet? 3. The wait, a test of faith and patience. Waiting, this word that burns, that strikes, that sometimes seems like a silent punishment. Human beings hate waiting. We want everything right away: love, stability, happiness. We pray, we beg, but the months pass, the years go by, and yet nothing changes. Then the soul becomes agitated. Why me? Why do others find their other half so easily, while I remain in the shadow of uncertainty? Patience becomes a stormy sea, and faith wavers under the weight of doubts. But what if this waiting was not a void, but a preparation? The example of an ordeal transformed into elevation. Look at the story of Yusuf, us. As a young man, he was loved by his father, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a well, sold into slavery, wrongly accused, and imprisoned. He would have had 1,000 reasons to abandon hope, to sink into bitterness, to say to himself, Allah has forgotten me. But no, he was patient. He understood that each ordeal was not a punishment, but a passage, a refinement, an invisible ascent. And in Allah's timing, after years of waiting, Yusuf, A.S., emerged from obscurity to be elevated to a place he could never have imagined. From a slave, he became a king. And you? How can you be sure that what you are waiting for today is not the introduction to a greater purpose? Maybe, just maybe, Allah hasn't given you your husband or wife yet, because this marriage is not just a love story, but a spiritual mission that will require a stronger, more mature, and more grounded version of yourself. And you are still becoming this version. Waiting is an invitation to transform. Do you want a relationship that elevates you, that brings you closer to Allah, that is a refuge and not a prison? So why would you want to rush a union? when your soul is not yet ready to receive it in all its beauty. Maybe Allah is moving you away from what would have broken your heart in the long term, teaching you patience, because love is not a race, and helping you build your own stability before welcoming someone into your life. Look around you. Many rush into marriages that become tests much heavier than loneliness. Many realize too late that they chose out of fear of waiting rather than out of trust in Allah. So yes, maybe your wedding is delayed. Perhaps the prayers you have been praying for years seem to have no immediate answer. But remember the story of Yusuf, A.S. Sometimes waiting is the crucible in which Allah forges souls destined to shine. Are you ready to embrace this patience, to give it meaning, to surrender to it without fear? Because if your heart knows that every delay hides wisdom, then you will no longer suffer from waiting. You will take a leap of faith. 4. Purification before marriage. An essential step. Marriage is not a simple contract between two souls. It is a predestined meeting, an alliance shaped by divine wisdom. But before Allah places the right person on your path, He first wants to prepare you. Why? Because a blessed marriage is not built on love alone, but on faith, patience, and purity. Just as a seed cannot produce a strong tree without being buried in the earth, deprived of light, and subjected to rain, you too must go through a phase of purification before marriage takes root in your life. When Allah purifies you before marriage, the waiting, the loneliness, the separation, all this is not a coincidence. Some people are distant from you not because Allah wants to make you suffer, but because He wants to protect you. It may be that you hate something, even though it is good for you. Break away from toxic relationships. Sometimes we cling to people who don't lift us up, who pull us down, who take us away from our own essence. Allah, in His mercy, removes them from our lives before they destroy us. But we resist, we cry, we beg. What if this separation was a gift? Heal from past wounds. A healthy marriage cannot be built on a heart full of unhealed wounds. Many seek a spouse to fill a void, to soothe the pain. But the truth is, love does not heal the wounds that only a connection with Allah can heal. Perhaps before giving you your husband or wife, Allah first wants you to learn to be enough with Him, to close the doors of the past, and to move forward without heavy baggage. He wants you to understand that your happiness does not depend on any human being. Get closer to Allah. What if this period of waiting was not a burden, but an invitation to draw closer to the Creator? Because deep down, how can you ask for a blessed marriage if you have not first built a strong relationship with the One who blesses? The purification process is a hidden mercy. We all want a marriage that is a source of serenity and not an ordeal. But how many of us are actually ready to receive this blessing? A happy marriage is not found by searching desperately. It is built through patience, purification, and trust in Allah. So if you're in a waiting phase, don't see it as a void. See it as a transformation, a refining of your soul. For he who is spiritually ready is also ready to welcome true blessing. The signs: Allah is preparing you for your destined spouse. The human heart seeks answers. When you're waiting for something as big as marriage, you wonder, is it my turn soon? How do I know if Allah is preparing me for this meeting? The reality is that Allah never leaves a servant without signs. But we must open our eyes and understand how He communicates with us. He will not speak to us directly. but He will orchestrate events. He will place clues in our path. Those little disturbing coincidences, those interchanges, those deep feelings that show us something is brewing. So how do you know if Allah is preparing your heart and your life for your husband or wife? Sign 1. Your relationship with Allah intensifies. Without even realizing it, your heart seeks Allah more. You feel a stronger need to pray, to read reminders, to make dhikr. You realize that true love does not come from a human being, but from a connection with Allah. This desire to get closer to Him is not trivial. It is one of the greatest signs that He is preparing you. Because a blessed marriage can only come to a soul who first seeks the blessing of the Creator. Sign 2. Bad relationships disappear. People leave your life, sometimes suddenly. Friendships fade, romantic relationships end. At the time, it hurts. You may be grieving these losses, wondering, why did Allah take this person from me? But after a while, you understand. You realize that these connections were not healthy, that they were not intended to be part of your future. Allah cleans your surroundings before introducing the right person into your life. He removes those who didn't deserve your place before sending you the one who will truly complete you. Sign 3. You feel inner peace. You are no longer worried. Before, waiting frustrated you, stressed you out. But today, there is an inexplicable peace within you. Impatience and fear of the future disappear, and instead, a calm comes. You trust in Allah's timing without feeling the despair you once had. Why? Because your heart has accepted that what comes will be better than what you could have chosen for yourself. Sign 4. You start to see signs around you. You don't understand why, but you hear about marriage more often, whether in conversations with loved ones, in videos, or in sermons. This word keeps coming up. You come across verses and reminders related to couples and patience. Every time you open a book, every time you listen to an encore, the subject of marriage comes up again and again. Disturbing coincidences happen. Someone you haven't seen for a long time talks to you about marriage. A discussion with a stranger touches exactly on the thoughts you had in mind. None of this is due to chance. Allah is aligning the elements. Sign 5. The right person inspires you to become better. When you meet her, you will feel it. It will not be someone who will turn you away from Allah. It will not be a relationship made of selfishness, doubts, and internal struggles. The right person will not consume you. They will elevate you. She will inspire you to pray more, to be more patient, to be a better version of yourself. That's what a blessed marriage is. A union that brings one closer to Allah, not the other way around. So if you sense any of these signs, know that Allah is already writing the rest of your story. Number 6. The importance of prayer and patience. The weight can be heavy. It can seem endless, full of uncertainties and unanswered questions. But in every moment of waiting, there is a purpose, a wisdom, a lesson. Marriage is not just a destination. It is a journey, a path where Allah shapes your heart, tests your patience, and refines your faith. So what should you do during this time? How can you avoid falling into impatience, anxiety, or doubt? The answer is simple: prayer and patience. 1. Pray the istikhara. Prayer, let go and trust. How many times have we insisted on keeping something that Allah wanted to take away from us? How many times have we thought we knew better than Him? The truth is that our choices are limited by our human vision. But Allah sees beyond the present, beyond appearances, beyond our immediate desires. This is why, when doubt sets in, when a person enters your life, and you don't know if they are the right one, there is only one refuge: Allah. Pray the istikhara prayer. If this person is good for me, make it easier for me. If not, take them away from me and give me what is better. This is not a simple request. It is an act of total submission to divine wisdom. And be sure of one thing: Allah always answers, but not always in the way you expect. Sometimes He pushes a person away despite your attachment, because they were not written for you. Sometimes He places obstacles between you, not to punish you, but to protect you. Sometimes He opens unexpected doors when you least expect it. Doing istikhara means accepting that what is good for us will come naturally, and what moves away had to go. 2. Focus on your own evolution, becoming before receiving. We all dream of a blessed marriage. Men often hope for a wife who is kind, patient, and deeply connected to her faith. Women long for a husband who is responsible, protective, and loyal. But here's a question we don't ask enough. Are we ready to become the kind of person we want to meet? Be honest with yourself. If the spouse you're praying for walked into your life today, would they be drawn to the version of you that you are right now? If you want a wife who is God-conscious, have you built your own connection with Allah? If you desire a husband who is calm and patient, have you developed patience within yourself? Love doesn't come to complete emptiness. It unites two souls who have already done the inner work, who are whole on their own, but better together. And this is exactly why waiting is not a curse. It's actually one of the most powerful seasons of your life. It's a time to grow, to heal, to strengthen your faith and character. Because Allah doesn't entrust a precious soul to someone who isn't prepared to honor them. 3. Never despair of Allah's mercy. Now, I know the weight can feel heavy. You see others getting married. You wonder, what about me? Don't I deserve that happiness too? But please hear this. Allah has not forgotten you. He says in the Quran, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. So if you're still waiting, there's a divine reason. Maybe the person you're meant to be with is still being shaped. Maybe you're being protected from something painful. Or maybe the timing simply isn't right yet. Patience is not weakness. It's one of the strongest forms of faith. So don't rush just because you feel lonely. Don't lower your standards just because you're tired of waiting. Because when the right time comes, you'll see how every delay was for your protection and growth. This waiting season is not a punishment. It's a preparation. If Allah has held something back, it's only because He's saving something better for you. So hold on to hope. Keep praying. Keep becoming the person your future spouse will be grateful for. Because the right marriage will come at the right time. Allah hears every one of your du'as. He sees your heart, and He never wastes your tears. So trust Him, be patient, and get ready to receive what's already written for you. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And may Allah bless you with a marriage full of love, peace, and iman. Ameen.